Welcome back. Today we're diving into a wonderfully deceptive puzzle from the world of coding challenges. It's called Count and Say, and you're about to see why it's such a classic.
Okay, let's just jump right into this. I'm going to show you a sequence, and all you have to do is figure out the next term. Sounds easy, right? Well, it might not be what you expect. Here it is, 1, then 11, 21, 12, 11, and then what comes next? Go ahead, take a second. It's not a simple math pattern. The secret is actually hiding in plain sight.
Yeah, this is what's known as a curious sequence. The key to solving it isn't really about math at all, but about, well, description.
Ready for it? The next term in the sequence is 111221. Now, if you're scratching your head right now, you are in exactly the right place. Let's unravel this thing.
So I'm guessing the first reaction for a lot of you is, wait, what? How does that make any sense at all? But I promise you, the rule behind this is actually incredibly simple and kind of beautiful once you see it.
So how do we get from one term to the next? This brings us to the core of the whole puzzle, the count and say rule.
You know, in computer science, this is actually a form of something called run-length encoding. It's a basic way to compress data. Instead of writing the letter A 5 times, you just write 5A. It's the same idea.
But let's forget the technical jargon for a second. Here is the one simple mantra that unlocks everything. The secret is, you just say what you see in the term right before it. That's it.
So let's put that rule into practice. We're going to generate the sequence ourselves, step by step. This is where it'll all click.
We start with the first term, which is just the number 1. So how would you describe that out loud? You'd say you see 1, 1. So that's what you write, a 1 for the count and a 1 for the digit. That gives us 11, and that's our second term.
Okay, now we just apply the same rule again. Our current term is 11. What do you see? Well, you see 2 1s. So you write down a 2 for the count and a 1 for the digit. And just like that, the third term becomes 21. See the pattern emerging?
This is where it really solidifies. We have 21. Now we have to read this in groups of identical digits. So first, you see 1, 2. Then you see 1, 1. Put it all together, and you get 1, 2, 1, 1.
And this brings us right back to our original mystery answer. Starting with 121, let's say what we see. We have 1, 1, then 1, 2, then 2 1s. String that all together, and you get 11, 1, 1, 2, 2, 1. The loop is closed. Pretty neat, right?
So that's how we do it as humans. It's pretty intuitive for our brains. But how do we teach a computer to follow a rule that's based on description? Let's talk about crafting an actual algorithm.
Because this is the key challenge, right? It's easy for us to just glance at the string and see the groups, but a computer can't see like we do. It needs a very precise, step-by-step way to scan the string and identify those groups.
So how do we automate this? A really clean way is something called the two-pointer approach. Just imagine you have 2 fingers scanning the string. A slow finger, I, marks the start of a group. A fast finger, J, slides forward to find where that group of identical numbers ends. The length of the group is just the distance between your fingers, J minus I. And the digit itself? Well, that's just whatever your slow finger, I, is pointing at. You append that count and that digit to your new string, then you jump your slow finger, I, all the way to where your fast finger, J, is, and you start the whole process over for the next group.
Now that we understand the logic and even how we'd code it, let's do a quick final analysis of this whole problem.
In terms of performance, the time it takes is roughly O of n times m. Here, n is the term number we're trying to find, and m is the maximum length the string ever gets. This makes sense because for each of the n terms, we have to scan through the entire length of the previous string. The memory or space we need is basically just enough to hold that longest string.
And speaking of that length, it gets big fast. The standard version of this problem asks you to calculate up to the 30th term. By the time you get there, the string of digits is over 5,000 characters long, all grown from a single digit 1. It's kind of mind-blowing. And this leaves us with a really fascinating final thought. The count and say sequence shows how an incredibly simple, predictable rule can lead to this explosive, almost chaotic growth in complexity. It makes you wonder, where else do we see this? You know, from how memes spread online to the intricate patterns in biological systems, what other complex things in our world might be governed by a rule as simple as